Hi Laramie, welcome back to math. Remember that you have this paper that kind of looks like a poster. It's a picture of the poster that we have in the classroom. And yesterday you learned about add it and drop it, and you had to practice those kinds. Today you're going to be learning about use it and share it. So let's look first at this use it problem. This is when you use only the remainder. So you use this when the question asks, how much is left over, left out, or partially filled? Or how much someone saved for himself or herself? Or how much is on the last page? Okay, let's look at an example, and I think that'll make more sense. So Joan is collecting eggs from her chickens and groups them into cartons. We're going to say by the half dozen, if you don't mind changing that with me. We're going to say by the half dozen. And she can only sell cartons that have 6 eggs in them. Let's say that. If her hens lay 59 eggs, how many eggs will there be in the partially filled carton? All right, well, let's do our division first. We're going to do 59 divided by 6. So 59 divided by 6. We ask what times 6 gets me close to 59 without going over. Well, I know that 6 times 9 is 54, so that's what I'm going to do. And subtract, and I get a remainder of 5. I have 9, remainder 5. So on a use it problem, we use only the remainder. I actually think that this is the easiest one because all you have to do is look at that remainder and that's your answer. Because what this is saying is she has 9 full containers and she has 5 eggs left over. How many eggs are there in the last partially filled carton? Only 5. We have 5 left over. So you would put 5 eggs. By the way, I would like you to follow along as I go. So if you don't have your packet out yet, get it out and write down what I have. And then share it. 6 children were making slime. They had a 64-ounce bottle of glue and poured it equally into 6 bowls. How much glue did each child get? All right, so for a share it problem, this is when you include the remainder in your answer as a fraction. And I'm going to show you how to do that, how to make it into a fraction. But you use this one when you're talking about food or money or things that are really easy to split up in real life. Or slime, bottles of glue are easy to split up in real life. So, if we have 64 divided by 6, let's just do our division first and then I'll talk about what share it means. 64 divided by 6, I know 6 times what gets me 6, it would be 1. 1 times 6 is 6. I subtract, I get 0. Drag down my 4. How many times does 6 go into 4 without going over? It can't, so I'm going to put 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Subtract, and I get 4. Okay, so I have 10, remainder 4. But I'm pouring it out equally into 6 bowls. They each get 10 ounces, but this remainder 4 here, we can actually turn it into a fraction. The way that we do that is we just take our remainder 4 and we put it over our divisor. So that fraction is now 4/6. So we would have 10 and 4/6 ounces each kid gets. Okay, I'll explain that again. So if you didn't understand what I did there, don't worry. All right, so now for these problems, we have to decide if they are use it or share it ones. Don't worry about add it or drop it that you learned yesterday. None of them are going to be add it or drop it yet. We're only going to do use it and share it type problems. So Mom baked a batch of 10 cookies. If 4 kids were to split the cookies equally, leaving the tray clean, meaning they eat all of them, how many cookies would each kid get? Okay, let's just divide first. Let's do the 10 cookies divided up amongst the 4 kids. 10 divided by 4. What times 4 gives me something close to 10 without going over? It would be 2, because 2 times 4 is 8. I subtract, and I get 2. Okay, so I have 2 remainder 2. Now, I need to think about if this is a use it problem or a share it problem. Am I going to be using only the remainder? Does it ask me how much is left over? Not really. It says we're going to leave the tray clean. There's not going to be anything left over. So could it be a share it? Are we talking about food or money or something that's easy to split? Yeah, we're talking about foods and cookies. So this is going to be a share it problem. Remember that for a share it problem, it says that we need to include the remainder in your answer as a fraction. So how you do that is you take this remainder, put it over our divisor, 4, and there's your answer. It's actually going to be the whole thing, though. It's 2 2/4 cookies. So every kid is going to get to eat 2 2/4 cookies. All right, let's look at this next one. Charles was preparing to take 3 people and himself on a camping adventure. He packed a total of 95 gallons of water for their trip. If each camper, including Charles, gets an equal amount of water, how much water does everyone get? Well, let's do division first, and then think about if it's a use it or share it. Now, you might be thinking, oh, it's just 95 divided by 3. But actually not, because it's not just 3 campers. He's taking 3 people and himself. So 3 plus 1 is going to give you 4. So you need to do 95 divided by 4. All right, let's do our division. What times 4 gets me something close to 9 without going over? 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract and I get 1, bring down my 5. What times 4 gets me close to 15 without going over? 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Oop, I'm running in. I'm going to move it over here. 15 minus 12, and I get 3. 23, remainder 3. Now, we need to think. Here's our answer. Good job. But let's think about, is it asking how much is left over or left out or partially filled? Does it ever ask how many buckets are partially filled? No, it doesn't say that anywhere. Well, is it talking about food or money? Or something that can be easily split in real life? Kind of. I would say water is kind of food, and water can definitely be split up easily in real life. So, everyone's going to get 23 gallons, and then we need to turn this one into a fraction. Remember, for share it, we include the remainder as a fraction. So 23, and remember, you take the remainder, and you put it over whatever your divisor is. So 23 3/4 gallons. All right, let's look at this next one. Grandma's famous cookie recipe requires 2 cups of flour for each batch. If there are approximately 9 cups of flour in the bag, how much flour would be left if Grandma made as many batches of cookies as possible? So she's going to use as much flour as possible to make her cookies, and she's going to have some left. So let's do our 9 cups divided by the 2 cups that she needs for each situation. 9 divided by 2. So we ask 2 times what gets me close to 9 without going over. I would say 4, because 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract, I get 1. So 4, remainder 1. All right, so now we need to ask ourselves, is it a use it or a share it problem? Use it. Does it ever ask how much is left over, how much is left out, or how much is partially filled? Yeah, it actually says how much flour would be left. So in a use it problem, we're going to use only the remainder. So our answer is just 1 cup of flour is left over. Now you might be thinking, Miss Vanderstel, flour is technically food. And it says that if it's asking about food, I'm supposed to share it. You're not wrong, but when the question specifically asks how much is left over, left out, or partially filled, it's for sure a use it problem. For sure. All right, I'm going to leave you to do 4 on your own, and 5, 6, and 7. Okay, remember that it's going to be either a use it or a share it problem. If you're feeling a little confused, I would suggest replaying this video and just watching it over and then seeing if you understand after that. Let me know if you have any questions. You've got this.